How's it going, ladies and Bruce? I'm Sixkilla and welcome to Meteor World Actor Badge and Dagger. Now, this is actually a sequel to a game called Meteor World Actor, which I've never played and isn't even on Steam, and contains the kind of scenes that will get me kicked off of YouTube. So we're not going to be playing that, but we are going to play this because it looks really interesting. This one also has a patch for scenes that will get me kicked off of YouTube, but we're playing the R16 flavored one. We're just going to be doing a taster for now. It will be a full series, but for now, while I'm still recording Cult Factory, put on the back burner until Cult Factory's done, which shouldn't be too far away anyway. But for now, let's jump into it. Jeez, I think I said too many words and I'm not sure if any of them made any sense, or difference, or point. The point is, I won't be doing it every day until Cult Factory's done. But I am excited to get into it. It's extra cold here this time of year. Even in a world where the seasons never change, time still exercises its grip on the climate. Especially in the dead of night when our country pulls on a blanket of cold mist. The Seventh Republic. The city despised by the sun. The land where morning never comes. The sun is up there somewhere, sure, but its rays don't reach us way down here. Not through the unbreakable veil of black clouds. We see them move around up there, but when one blows aside, the next slides in. It's like they take it in shifts, and the streets only ever get darker. The dark draws criminals like moths to the flame. So we get darkness of all types. That's the order of things in this country. Alleys between buildings like this one are the worst, blind spots to the eyes of the surveillance state, and they become hives of villainy. They aren't worth rebuilding a neighbourhood over, and we can't just fill them in with cement. But politicians can always kick the can down the road. Ordinary people don't wander in often, people with blood on their hands do. But to a detective, or at least to me, these decrepit alleys are old friends. I know 60 or 70% of this nation's roads like the back of my hand. That might not sound like all that much, but not a cop on the force knows them better. So I know I'm approaching a small open space. Can I get a light? I asked the two guys loitering around there, who looked to have been shooting the breeze. They don't bother to hide their suspicion of me. Huh? Who are you? If they want to know, I can tell them. I'm a man of justice. Justice, is that it? So you're what, a cop? Not a smart question, but he's on the money. What if I am? I pointedly don't deny it. Very funny, man. What kind of cop waltzes in here alone? A sniff of the law and they still aren't running. They're either on the straight and narrow, or they think they can take me on. I'm guessing the latter. Or maybe they think I'm a crazy drunk. They're laughing. Most officers don't loiter much in back alleys, true. There's all of one misfit on the force who does. You like this country? One of the two is a Sigit, the other an elf. Sigit? The Sigit is over 40, with the elf it's unclear, but he looks to be up there. At a glance I can tell that they weren't born here. There's something in the eyes, they don't have it. Those two are no simple street punks. Leave us alone. Looking exasperated, he tries to shoo me away. What, you're not liking our chat? Hate to break it to you, but we got things to do. I walk over closer, as if I'm their buddy, and the Sigit doesn't seem to like that at all. Sigits are piss poor at hiding their feelings. For better or worse, you're a straightforward bunch. When you get along gangbusters. When you don't, you just don't, and that's the end of it. Come on, don't be like that. I don't have anything to do. I reach one hand in my coat, the two stiffen up. Shortly they loosen up again. That's because I pulled out a bottle of booze. Cheap stuff from a convenience store nearby. Nothing like a cold one after work, huh boys? It's about all the fun I get these days. That doesn't look open, he's still on the job. Yeah, I have a little bit left to wrap up. Then maybe you better go and attend to that. You heard him, get lost. Any trace of smiles are gone from them now. The big Sigit gets up in my face and to scare me. Looks like I've exhausted his patience. You want me to get lost? Supposing I don't. Take a look at me. You want to find out? The man's a Sigit with remarkably honed muscles. No human could win a fistfight against him. Seagets are blessed from birth with overwhelming physical abilities. Too many misuse all that extra muscle. Oh no, you Seagets sure do scare me. The Alpha's been watching like this isn't his problem, but when our eyes meet, it seems to ring a bell. Hey. He puts a hand on his buddy's shoulder, not mine. What, man? Seagets take pride in their super strong bodies. This one has been about to use his to punch me into next week, and he looks annoyed that he isn't getting to. Better not mess with this one. What are you talking about? You want to let this human walk all over us? I feel the same, but this guy isn't normal. Ain't he? He looks normal to me. I thought it was odd when he walked in here. People don't wander down such dark alleys for no reason. This is no place to come unless you're confident. And see how he holds himself? Nice eye, Elf. Too bad this Seagate doesn't have the brain cells to rub together to think for a second. I never hit him to wonder who I was. Are you... I met the Elf's eyes and flash him a cocky grin. He looks somewhere else, fast. And then he taps his buddy on the shoulder. Whatever tipped him off, his instincts are good. Let's go. The smarter man tries to stop the confrontation. If his buddy goes along with him, that'll make things harder. Luckily, this man's buddy is a Seagate. Hold on. Tell me what's going on here. He doesn't want to run because of how I look at him. Forget it. Let's get out of here. The Elf tries again to make a quick, clean exit, but the Seagate is still tragically short on brain cells. He just won't feel right if he doesn't let me have it. The Elf has thought several steps ahead of him. These two have zero chemistry. And yet, they're having a cozy chat in this alley. Peculiar. Let me ask you one more time. Do you like this country? Like hell I do, it's a goddamn prison. The Seagate shakes his friend off and grabs my collar. Keep messing with me, you want to see what happens? Figures. If you don't like it here, you can kinda do whatever you want with the place, right? You don't care what happens to good people as long as you get yours. That's the way you think, isn't it? Huh? Bones, let's think about this. He breaks out his friend's name and tries again to warn him. Smart elf, intelligent, like it says on the box. You realise quickly that this is a bad situation. You two are in with the cult, aren't you? That's an exaggeration, to be honest. But the words seem to shake him. How did you know? I can't help but smile at the simple Seagate here. The elf is probably already about ready to cry. If he kept his mouth shut, they'd only be suspicious. But if you're mixed up with a cult, it's over for you. Even if you're not human, and you can't officially join it. If you're on the cult side, you're my target. Huh? What? It's getting so damn cold tonight, and I just want to go home and crawl into the blankets. Bones, this is the guy. It's the guy they've been talking about. The one who's been killing our people. From the blacklist. Oh, a blacklist. Fancy. What's a criminal organization doing with one of those? Hilarious. This guy... He finally gets it, but it's much too late. Ice bites up his arm in moments, from my collar to his chest. It doesn't matter how strong he is when I'm at point blank range. I'll kill anyone who's ever touched the cult. That's a rule I invented for myself. And now there's an ice sculpture of a Seagate named Bones. The elf makes a play to fly away. It doesn't work because I've frozen him down. No, I can't move. I'm running and leaving your power. You're cold, man. He's still alive in there, you know. If I stop my powers, he might even stay that way. Seagates are tougher than ordinary humans. You freeze them through. They don't die right away. Maybe the elf isn't worried about helping his friend. He says something, but not in words humans know. A vicious gale blows up around him. The magic of the elves. They can control the wind in a number of ways. If this were a fair fight, the elf's chances of escape would likely have been respectable. His mistake was ever getting so close to me. Even if he's a keeper, he's probably screwed. The frost flashes up from his feet and stops him from moving anything but his face. With his chant interrupted, the man's wind disperses. Wanna try begging for your life? I know your face. I see fear and hatred mingled in his eyes. Staring back into them kindles a tiny warmth in the tundra of my heart. Yeah, I'm a genuine celebrity. Funnily enough, the guy doesn't laugh. Even if his diaphragm would move, it's hard to laugh at the fact that you're a candle in the wind. You're a cop, aren't you? At this point, the elf finally gets there. I give him an ironic round of applause. 2 or 3 claps, short ones. I'm not laughing any more than he is. You should have picked up on that sooner. Way sooner. I told you, I'm all about justice. I'm pretty famous on the force myself. I'm not, if not for anything good. It's weird, like either I can't English today or this script is difficult to read for some reason. But yeah, I'm finding it a lot more difficult to read than usual. Is a cop like you gonna kill an innocent civilian? What civilian? Nobody in the cult deserves my protection. Not when you're feeding off this country's people. Let's just suppose you're right. Do cops murder people? Oh, even if they're criminals, permission's hard to come by. You can't murder 2 people and get away with it. He's groping at straws that might get him out of this. Criminal or not, that was far from stupid. Bad news, my power doesn't leave much evidence. You'll freeze through to the bone and shatter into dust. Tonight won't get warmer, and then it'll rain. It'll all wash away. I amp it up a little, and ice creeps over his chin. Stop. Stop what? I pick up the cigarette off the ground. What you doing right now? I stick it in my mouth and flick a cheap lighter at it. Why should I? I just told you, even for a cop, murder's a serious crime. Serious, huh? I don't want to hear it from you, scum. Now that's enough questions out of you. I could kill you right now, so I do the asking. At this rate, you're bound for an unmarked grave. Is there anything you'd like to tell me? Try letting me know why you rolled with the cult, maybe. Then, that way I'll let you live. Maybe that way I'll let you live. I hate this country, same as Bones did. Figures you'd have to stoop to siding with the cult. You had other options. Drugs, maybe, or human trafficking? You could have picked anything else, why didn't you? If he had, he wouldn't be here right now. I needed money. In the human society that this country is, money is a necessity. Money, he says. And money, he repeats. Why money? It's for my family. Your family? Cops or criminals, we've all got families. Sometimes we get our hands dirty for them, don't we? That's your best argument? Maybe it's pathetic, but yes. Do you think I'll let you live for that? Try using that big brain. What do you think might inspire me to help you? You think it's begging for mercy? Let's see. I know. The elf appears to have had an idea. He closes his eyes and opens his mouth. If you want information, I'll give it to you. I'll do anything you want. Will you? The ice has almost reached his lips, but it starts, slowly but surely, to creep back downward. He's still hugely stressed, but he's very relieved. I undo my power's grip on him until he regains the use of his hands. Talk. What do you know? I'll tell you after I turn myself in. I see, so you want to guarantee that you'll stay alive. If he tells me here, he can't know what I might do. His instincts are right to tell him that. He wants insurance. Bad luck, bucko. I don't plan on letting any of you cult scum live. The ice moves back up towards his face. Wait! I'll ask you again, what's the intel? What do you want to know? I want to know who runs the thing these days. Anything and everything related to that. I crack open my bottle of booze, and I begin to pour it over the elf's head. The bosses, their bases, their names, and their powers. I only know one of them. Do you promise to let me go if I talk? Yeah. One of the lieutenants is a man named Baramoth. And I don't know where he's set up, but he's an elf like me. Interesting. Like you. Yeah, I could call him and lure him out for you. Please, let me help you. Could you? I guess you're trying to let me trade up, but you failed. The cult doesn't have any non-human lieutenants. The bottle is basically empty, and I can't trust anyone who would turn rat so easily, even if I wanted to. Well, you see, that's changed lately. The elf yells out, stinking by now of liquor. See ya. Stop. He tries to scream, but the ice takes his lungs. And also the entire rest of him too. A second nice ice sculpture for the gallery. I concentrate my power through every inch of his flesh, every speck and every cell of blood in his body. As if a pawn like you would know anything I care about. He was running his mouth about a family earlier, but playing with the cult was a fatal mistake. I turn away and leave the alley. Behind me, the sound of shattering ice echoes. They lived in the dark, and they died there. This country won't be missing one or two punks. Man, our dude is cold as fuck. The darkness of the Seventh's not so easy to light. I wrap my body in a coat, and the mist enfolds that too. I puff out a sigh. It doesn't stop the shaking. Wonder how long I've got. My keeper's powers are indispensable to hunt the cult, but they burn my lifespan as fast as they freeze the air. And that's fine. If I die, maybe a girl or two cries, that's all. Or maybe a couple of dozen. It could be in the hundreds. That might cause a fuss. Let it. Going against real power always takes sacrifice. Just try to keep the heartbreak to a minimum. If they don't find a body, you're not dead. Just disappeared. Live in the dark, die there, like a criminal. That's good. I'm Ruka Hiryu, and that's what's on my horizon. Nobody else has a right to complain. No one. Darkness enshrouds the whole 7th Republic. It's a little after 5 AM. Most people aren't awake yet at this hour. Though there's no morning here, and no true night. It's an ecosystem of perpetual darkness. Everything in it has to survive the gloom. When it first started, they must have missed the sun. But even though people can pick up and move, it's impossible to relocate a country. Once you set down roots in a place, you have to face the land as it is. That's what it means to live in the 7th. You have to make the darkness your friend. If you don't, then it will eat you someday. Personally, I'm past worrying about it. My body's more than half sunk in the abyss already. The streets are sparse with people at this hour. Opportunistic criminals slip in and out of the omnipresent shadows, looking to prey on drunks. That's according to the call we got a little while ago. This gang has been robbing people and pawning the spoils. No one ever sees them, but the illicit deals continue. We've been on the case for days since the report came in. Who am I? Okay, I'll tell you one more time. Don't forget again. I'm a friend of justice, defender of the people, Detective Ruka Hiryu. And my radio makes a noise. Something's being said, though I can't make out what. It happens a few times, and then I realise I've been napping. What do you want, Clarice? I pry my tired eyes open as I reply. You know what I want. Are you looking out properly? Of course I am. I wipe a spot of drool off my chin. Not just napping while pretending to watch. Of course not, you butt. And you sure about that? Sounds like she's sure on her end that I'm lying. Are you questioning your superior officer? I question everything you say. It's a matter of policy. First I've heard of it. Pretty rude policy if you ask me. So you were sleeping? Persistent today, aren't we? I was wide awake. Right up until the moment I fell asleep. I was only dozing anyway. You're sticking to your guns, huh? I'm sticking to the truth, Clarice. Okay, fine, let's pretend for a moment that I was sleeping. Oh no, I don't like where this is going. Shut it and listen. I can hear the impatience coming over the airwaves. That suits me fine. There's nothing more fun than lecturing someone who doesn't want to hear it. It's like a prize for being the veteran partner. Right, I don't think this is the time for it, but make time for it. This is very, very important. I'm really not convinced. My rookie buddy seems to think I'm a liar. Of course I want to expose the truth. If I had any faith in you, that might make sense. I have zero faith in you, so why even bother? Hey, slow down there. If I were lying, your trust might stay at 0, but if I'm telling the truth, then won't it go up? You have too many priors. It's stuck at 0 now. This is ridiculous. I'm tired. So if I prove my innocence, all I get is the satisfaction? Therefore, this is a pointless discussion, so let's forget it. Alright, buckle up and listen. You're plowing ahead and ignoring everything I just said. At least it's on brand. Let's get back to basics here. Even supposing I nodded off for a second, if I deny it, then you ought to believe me. Excuse me? I say the paper is black, then it's black. If I say the asphalt is white, then it's white. That's a healthy commander-commandee relationship. That's an absolutely disgustingly unhealthy idea. That's not just unhealthy, it's bad. It's evil. She's really not pulling her punches, is she? You suck. I forget about Clarice and reach for a cigarette. That's fine, please keep your eyes open. You think you're my supervisor or something? I know your tricks, Ruka. Insubordinate. With great reluctance, I put the cigarette away. So I go to work, is that it? Okay already. Relax, I got my eye on a likely target. Is that so? I don't know if I believe you. Whether she knows it or not, it's the truth. What do they look like, this person you have your eye on? A plastered old fogey snoring up a storm. Man, that looks comfortable. He's got his wallet sticking out of his back pocket. He's begging to get robbed. That's careless of him. You're telling me. Even I could probably get that off him. I cast a glance at the temptingly protruding wallet. What is it? Nothing. That's strange. There was a big long wallet there just a minute ago. Now for some reason I can't see it. Did he drop it somehow? If not... Suppose while you were napping somebody made off with the wallet and now it's gone. Shut your trap, dumb butt, don't be crazy. You seem awfully shaken. Bullseye? Get ready to move. I cut the radio, then I scan the area, marking the moving silhouettes. I spot only 3 because it's still so early. There won't be time to go shake them all down. By the time we're done questioning the first one, the other 2 will be gone. It's also highly possible that the culprit's already turned a corner and is well out of sight. What do I do? What do I do? That's my only option? Start shouting? Okay, let's do it. I take what's probably the only choice I have here. Freeze! Police! You're under arrest for theft! I shout nice and loud so all 3 can hear. And then they all run. The natural reaction is to be confused and look over at me. 2 of them do that the right way. Do that right away. They look very confused. The 3rd bolts without looking at all. It's my lucky day. I sprint off after the man in a great mood. He's quick, and too far for me to catch without trouble. Given that the man is a good 100 yards away, if I slip up at all, I'll probably lose him. And that's why we keep Clarice around. Clarice, get him! Roger. After like an attack dog, I summon her on the radio. From her perch on a roof 10 stories up, she sees it all. And now she'll come catch the guy. How? That's obvious. Clarice is an elf and can control the wind. I can see her wings, but they're there when she needs them. I can't see her wings, but they're there when she needs them. And they make her too fast for any normal human. She comes down like an arrow, cutting through the air. Culprit is fleeing, 100 yards ahead. Clarice shoots straight at the man, closing the distance. Bye-bye, early morning stakeouts. She yelps loudly with joy and... a gust of countervailing wind makes me squint. Up in the sky, Clarice takes the brunt of it. It sends her spinning backwards through the air, like a newspaper caught in a sudden squall. That's how strong the counterwind is. Help me, Ruka! Clarice manages to tweak her course in mid-air, so as to come flying straight into my tender body. I go tumbling with her. Move, you idiot, he's getting away! Sorry. As the wind quiets down, we look forward, but there isn't a trace of the criminal now. He got away, didn't he? Seems safe to say. He'll probably go to ground for a while now too. Where'd all that wind come from? Where do you think? He's an elf. Or he's got a friend who is. An elven criminal? You're not going to tell me your people wouldn't. Everybody does. Adults, children, human, elves. To live or to get what they want, crime after crime. It makes me sad, but that's not what I mean. I've been with the police for over a year now. I know that there's some bad people of every sort. Look, you're starting to get it. Sounds like you've grown up on the inside at least. I don't know what you're so happy about. The guy who got away? What's that going to do to my evaluation? I wouldn't worry about it. What? You got a plan to catch him? I wouldn't say that. That's a shame. My fault for getting my hopes up with this one. You can let as many criminals escape as you like. It isn't as if your evaluation can get any lower. She pats me reassuringly on the shoulder. I pinch the back of the offending hand and twist. Ow, 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 that hurts. My heart hurts more. When we get back to the station... Hey, what are you doing here, Sasuke? Do you need an explanation? There's another man wilting next to Sasuke. It's the perp who got away from us just now. I can see his pointy ears. He's an elf after all. Nobody trusts us. What do you mean? I mean, Sasuke was keeping an eye on you and me. And he caught the guy we let get away. So as usual, he gets the credit. I didn't notice at all. Sneaking around watching people is what he's best at. What an opportunist, making off with our collar. Funny you were even chasing such a little case. I thought you only went after the big fish. You may not know it, but there's a possibility this man is connected to a larger syndicate. The ones I'm after are his bosses. That explains it. It's total news to me. I shake in my boots a little. You're a mess this morning. Huh? You've been blundering around like an idiot lately. Or are you only playing the fool? Shut it. That's none of your damn business. After a short silence, Sosuke looks away. I guess not. With that, he leads the criminal off. Playing the fool? There's us as I stare after his back. You know, like Boris Johnson. None of your business either. Let's report to the chief. I'll tell him a story about a blundering elf who got blown away like newspaper. Hey, don't try to make this all my fault. Just kidding. Claris's eyes aren't laughing. I put my serious face on and comfort her. That was mostly my screw-up. It's not your responsibility. It's important she knows that. Ruka, so you still have a heart in there. What kind of monster do you think I am? Well, it's difficult to be specific, but, never mind. What's she picturing? You probably wouldn't tell me if I pushed her. And I don't want to know as badly as all that. Maybe save that part, huh? Just let me do you a favour here. Yes, of course. You just let me make the report to the chief. Nobody likes getting yelled at, after all. Are you sure? I told you, it's not your responsibility. Thank you. I pat her kindly on the shoulder and we part ways. It's been about 2 hours. Now it's clock-in time at the 13th. I got to my desk earlier than usual to lie and wait for the chief. The man makes his appearance right on schedule. There he is, the middle-aged lard slab, and the 13th calls boss. Claris throws me a sidelong glance. I flash back a wink, telling her not to worry, and then I move into action. Good morning, Chief. Bright, loud, and cheerful. I wring my hands obsequiously as I horn in on the guy. Good morning, Hiryu. You certainly seem chipper today. The chief backs off from my searingly bright smile, making his way to his usual seat. One step ahead, I pull his cheap, lousy chair out for him. Please, rest your legs. Thank you. I make the chief comfortable. Now, how was this morning's... He tries to pin me down, but I'm too slick. Aren't you looking a little stiff there, Chief? You must have the weight of the world on your shoulders. I slip around behind his chair. Well, I suppose you could say that. Perhaps the years are catching up. It happens. How about a patented Hiryu massage? Are you very good at that? Oh, I'm a consummate professional at taking a load off. That's why they call me Ruka the Masseur. Somehow that nickname has never reached my ears. Anyway, what's all this about? You aren't the sort to be this nice without an ulterior motive. Oh, my dear Chief! Ulterior motives? Me? I'm wounded. Just keep talking about anything except this morning. What was that? Nothing at all. It's such a pleasure to be chatting with you. My inner monologue might have slipped out there. I do appreciate this lovely shoulder massage, but I'd appreciate it more if you answer my question. What? Hiryu, about the thief this morning. He has me dead to rights. There's no getting away from it now. I switch gears instantly in my head. So that did reach your ears? Yes, when I arrived here at the station. I don't mean to imply that this is a pattern, but I understand your situation. I get a step ahead again and take his momentum. You want to blame us for letting that guy get away. I wouldn't use the word blame, but in principle it's... Your arrest rate hasn't shown any upward mobility. Oh, that's very true. What a keen observation. I suppose I can't blame you for blaming me for that. I can't just overlook this, Hiryu. My boss has told me that you need to improve. I know, that must be difficult. That must put you between a real rock and a hard place. I'm gonna have to write a report about this. Why did you... I started myself right up to the chief's ear. It was Claris. Claris let him get away. Did she really? The chief tries to glance in Claris's direction. I step in the way to forestall any eye contact. Please don't look at her. She must look devastated, doesn't she? From the guilt. I suppose she does. She does look concerned about something. It must really be weighing on her. If she catches you judging, it'll weigh on her double. Allow me to explain everything. I explain that Claris and I share the responsibility at a 10-to-0 ratio. Claris is the 10. Yes, naturally, I reprimanded her on the spot. You can see how seriously she took it to heart. But what if you get angry with her now on top of that? Our sensitive Ricky could end up traumatized. Well, we wouldn't want that. I think I'll just hear the story from her as well. We'd be putting her on the spot in front of the whole division. What would that do to her fragile psyche? I suppose that might be harsh. It'd be cruel and unusual. Please let her off the hook this time. When the mistakes pile up like this, that's difficult. I take a step back and bow my head. Chief, I'm so sorry. I shout so the whole room can hear. The whole thing is my responsibility. I'm begging you, be merciful. If you have to fault someone, please let it be me. Every eye in the 13th is burning a hole in my back. I understand, I hear you, so... Be more careful next time. You got it, Chief. I beam at him beautifully. Beatifically? That's a word? Is that a word? I'm gonna look that up later. I just put a bow on the whole thing for now. And it got me brownie points with both the Chief and Claris. Perfection. I know you remember this when bonus time rolls around. We understand each other? Of course. Great, excuse me then. I bow one last time and head back to my desk. Not that it's more than a few steps from the Chief's. I sit down across from the big guy who saw the whole thing. Our resident Segit Vaz breaks out a grin. Look, you learn to apologize. He claps his hands together gleefully. That was so cool, Ruka. You know me, I look out for my people. And my salary, which I think I just saved. I don't care how bad my reputation gets, I'll always have the yearly assessment. If I can hold that together, I still get a bonus. I'll do my best to support you too. Great, your first mission is to suck less. We can't have Sosuke running laps around us like this. Sosuke gets results unlike some people here. And the guy just rakes in the criminals. He's a dirty cheater. He only caught our guy after we wore him down. Is that what you call what you did? Yeah, he could barely stay on his feet. If Sasuke hadn't shown up, we'd have got him. You sure you didn't just let him go? We were letting him tucker himself out, but it's too late to make excuses now. Not sure when I last saw you actually say sorry. If you let him run on purpose, why not report that? It was faster to take one for the team this time. Something smells fishy. Like what? Tamako squints at me. Nothing in particular. She starts tapping away at her keyboard. Getting back to work? I let her. Oh, you got a video of the scene? Vaz peers in at Tamako's screen. Hey, what are you doing? Checking exactly how you let him run on purpose. That's pointless, redundant, inefficient. I try to get up to stop her, but for a scrawny sack of bones, she's quick. So this was intentional. That's a very interesting interpretation. The damage is done. It's a critical hit. It's a critical hit in the balls. They saw everything. Stop that. Turn off the video and shut down your PC. Unless you want me to smash it. Vaz thinks I'm some kind of joker. He keeps watching. Wow, look at him go. It's not acting, that's a cock-up. Look, the guy's not even tired. You don't have to point out every little thing. I raise a fist, but Vaz gives me a glare. I put my fist down and reconsider. Because if he punched me back, I'd be dead. We're just peer reviewing your report. You dirty, cheating cyber coward. Anything to change this topic. What's on the screen is poison to my cred. We had our golden boy Sasuke go. He's off investigating his next case. Personality aside, he's a consummate professional. I'm deeply wounded by the implication that Claris and I are anything but. Interpersonal relationships are so important, eh, Chief? At this hour, the 13th should be here, schmoozing. How can he praise someone who's neglecting us all? I'm not trying to argue with the principal there, but when you're a true master detective, the case is fine too. Only an amateur has to go out chasing mysteries. Poor guy just isn't on my level. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Tamako heaves a sigh. I heave a bigger sigh right back at her. What are you sighing for, Ruka? It's my secret technique, the sigh return. Look, Tamako's learning. I can't follow what you're saying at all anymore. Don't bother trying. Ruka's doing what he does best, changing the topic. The muscles where his brain should be are sharp today. You know, Hiryu, you can't keep this up forever. Yikes. That went on long enough for even the boss to get in. Can't keep up what forever, Chief? You need to be on your best behavior right now. Sounds like you're in trouble. He's always in trouble. No, that isn't what I mean. I'm not speaking only to Hiryu right now. This involves each and every one of you. How exactly? I've heard some unpleasant rumors recently. What kind of rumors? The three of them look at each other, confused. I don't know what he's talking about either. Well, it's only a rumor, you see. The Chief waffles with his usual elegance and grace. There's been talk of shutting down the 13th Division. Shutter the 13th? Like actually close it? Good one. What kind of joke is that, Chief? Vaz gets it. The two of us share a chuckle. The Chief doesn't. I'd like to think the same myself, but I'm not so certain. Try that. And us rejects who have nowhere to go. They couldn't slide us back with the first or the second. Worst idea I've ever heard. We're here because we didn't fit in elsewhere. We can't get back to where we came from. This is the castaway cop's last refuge. It's our paradise, our Eden, our El Dorado. I wouldn't say it's that good, but it's true that this is where you wash up when you wash out. If we went for the 13th Division, the officers who end up here would be fired instead. Of course, we all know that no disgruntled ex-cop would ever turn to crime. Police learns all kinds of information and techniques. Having former detectives running loose with no chips on their shoulders, might not be in the MPA's best interest. Take Vaz. He's a brainless slab of meat, but all that muscle would be serious trouble attached to a criminal. He only functions at all because he's in this division. As I said, it's only a rumour, but the current state of the 13th is uncertain enough that rumours like that can circulate freely. Can I interrupt for a moment here, Chief? Tamako raises her hand to ask a question. Forget about Ruka, Sosuke, Vaz. I have results to show. I think we compensate for his inadequacies. Why, you little... I'm simply assessing peer-reviewed reality. That's a fair point. In terms of arrest records, you're correct. So might we conclude that a certain somebody is dragging the rest of us down? She glares pointedly at the certain someone. Hey, watch it! That isn't quite the case. I appreciate all the hard work you do for us, but Tamako, suppose I were to look at your unauthorized access records. You understand that I can't call them acceptable. It seems as if you've hacked a surveillance camera just now. You know that there are official protocols to follow. Heh, suck it. I usually don't have a choice for investigations. Many of my cases I could never have solved if I sit around waiting for approvals beforehand. Getting approval is an important part of your job. It isn't something you ought to be neglecting. Tamako has taken a rare turn on the receiving end. Necessary or not, you shouldn't break the rules. Ouch, that's gotta sting, Tamako. I can't criticize your arrest record either, Vaz. You bet you can't. The state in which your arrests come in, on the other hand, broken arms are the least of your offences. Bringing in dangerous people can't go easy on them. Bringing them in intact is an important part of your job. Half the guys you bring in are already half dead. They don't re-offend much, I admit. They can't. More than a few of Vaz captures have wound up crippled. And Sosuke breaks rules as a matter of routine. It appears the higher-ups are taking notice. You don't end up here unless there's something wrong with you. Which isn't to say that every problem cop reaches our shores. The 13th is a home for the competent troublemakers, an island of castaways inside the agency. They keep us, the dangerous ones, fed, clothed and happy to keep us from becoming a thorn in their side. It's the whole reason the 13th exists. It's exactly why they don't want to shut us down. These motley punks are good at what they do, you know? Is this about what you were saying before? You got it. Please don't lump me in with you. Were I to leave the force, I would not become a criminal. Interesting. Humans aren't that high-minded, you know. I'm telling you. Nobody wakes up and says, hey, today I'll go be evil. People always try to be good first, at least until they run out of cash. I'll just work a normal job. Work? Normal? You? If you could, you wouldn't be in this room. I wonder what you'd hack first. Maybe skim some money off other people's transactions? With Vaz, we all know it'd be something physical. He's a criminal the moment he loses his badge. You wanna go? And that's why we need the 13th. I agree with you, but the rumours are the rumours, and there's no guarantee that they won't become real. You should all take care to keep your heads down. Especially you, Hiryu. Don't forget. Hey. He just had to rub it in, didn't he? I don't like it, but I'll listen. He gave it to you. Shut it. Not even Nagare is getting into my case. You're usually as quiet as a mouse. Why sass me now? I shoot her a look and she shifts her eyes and shuts her trap. Damn it. I guess she's picking up on how to fit in. Alright, we need to wrap this one up because we are very much out of time for this episode. But it seems interesting. It seems interesting. I don't know if it has multiple endings or any of that sort of jazz. But I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments below if it has multiple endings. We had a choice before, kind of, except there was only one option. So, a choice of one. But who knows? Who knows? I don't know much about it. But I'm interested. We shall see, because we'll turn it into a full series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.